art installation focuses on developing students' sport knowledge through various cross-curriculum learning areas.
There are 7 learning areas and 5 creative arts areas that prompt students to think creatively and critically about various sports. The 7 of us have created a unit of work that explores the different professional roles involved in sports and the use of these to gain various perspectives.
I hope you enjoy! As a commentator, I witnessed a variety of amazing sporting people and events. It is my job to express my opinion and make sure that everyone knows what's going on and what sporting stars and people are involved. Creative arts is a universal human right and is something that can be easily incorporated into the generalist curriculum within a classroom, as it encourages the expansion of concepts and therefore enhancing a child's learning. Robinson, highlighting the important role that the arts plays in a child's educational development, as it can address aesthetic experiences, allowing a person to be fully alive and their senses to operate at their peak. Robinson also challenging educational paradigms, stating that not all children are capable in all academic areas, and children should not be penalised for this. Hayes, exploring the notion that cross-curricular experiences can enrich a child's learning through exposing them to variations in learning and ideas. Within this installation, we have used the cross-curricular approach to scaffold our lesson ideas, encouraging inquiry and a hunt for knowledge. Some examples of experiences that incorporate meaningful language and music experiences include taking on the persona of the commentator within a sporting code and commentating a rap to a beat. This experience would require the children to follow all the necessary elements involved with writing a song, such as rhythm, tempo, timing, and beat, ensuring that the lyrics use appropriate language and grammar functions to create a cohesive rap. Another example of an experience that combines both music and language elements includes exploring the opening ceremony of an Olympic Games and investigating the variety of national anthems that are sung. From this, children can create their own national anthem, taking inspiration from other countries around the world and incorporating culturally appropriate language and music. Each of these experiences allow for children to develop a skill sequence and explore a curriculum that starts at zero and builds in a continuous spiral of learning and music knowledge.
I'm an umpire. Umpires can be involved with most sports, but their main role is to control the game by making sure the rules are followed by the players. We also have a duty of care to keep the game safe and ensure it's played fairly. Umpiring can be quite taxing at times, with all the travelling we do to different states for each game, as well as sometimes getting yelled at from spectators and players. Boo! On the other hand, we also have the best job in the world because we get to see all the brilliant sporting moments that stay with us forever. In one of my games back in 1993, I saw Nicky Wimmer lift up his jumper as a stand against racism. This went on to be one of the most memorable moments in Australian football. It's not an easy gig umpiring, but it sure is worth it.
My name is Emma and I'll be discussing our arts installation with regards to drama and linking it with the learning area human and social sciences. Firstly, I'll begin with some of the theories that inform arts education. Arts in education is not experienced in isolation. As developed by John Dewey, the theory of art as experience exists in the doing or making. as well as expression through a language that is universally recognised. Art is not only for museums and art galleries, but can also exist in everyday experiences at home, school, and within the community. Furthermore, art enables us to share our thoughts and feelings with others in many different forms, and that was by Eisner in 1987. He also said that human beings possessed the unique ability to use imagination to create ideas that are yet to exist. However, these thoughts are ideas are private to us in our own minds, and the arts are a means with which we communicate them to others. Drama is an art form that can be used to express students' thoughts, ideas, and knowledge of the content being learned in the classroom. Roleplay is a drama activity that students can use as a fun way to express themselves and share what they know. The theory that underpins using roleplay as a means for education was introduced by Dorothy Heathcote, who pioneered the concept of teacher in role. This concept was adapted by an early 1900s approach developed by Harriet Finlay Johnson, which viewed drama as a way of teaching across the curriculum. Heathcote saw drama in education as child-centred and suggested that drama be used to teach concepts and develop meaning and understanding rather than to produce an end performance or production. Drama can also be considered as therapy. John O'Toole in 2009 states that in drama we explore, manipulate and control both empathy and emotional distance, and as we have seen, perhaps also map and even have some impact on shaping individual and group identities. This would be beneficial for students being able to consider and empathise with different perspectives in social sciences. Furthermore, in a 2012 journal article by Zaris Miller, he states that research has been found to link gesture as part of movement with memorisation and increased brain activity and absorption. He also mentions that movement helps with conceptual learning and understanding. In another article, R.V. Morris in 2001 concluded that incorporating drama in social studies increases students' engagement in what they're learning about and are likely to exceed teachers' expectations. The arts installation our group created was a 3D model of a sports arena, accompanied by the expertise and viewpoints of various sporting professionals. The installation was designed to inspire students to develop creative perspectives about sport. The following activity could be used in the classroom after watching the umpire section of the installation video. The activity consists of the students learning about significant and historical sporting moments and then choosing one to investigate further. The students would do this by getting into character and looking through the lens of an umpire, imagining they have observed these moments in one of their games. In their investigations, they'll focus on the context of that sporting moment in terms of time and place that it occurred, the culture of the sport and people involved, as well as the impact it had on the sporting industry and any political and social perspectives. An example of this would be investigating the moment Nicky Wemmer of the St Kilda Football Club took a stand against racism in one of his games. This links in with AusVals through the humanities geography domain by allowing the students to look at location, distance and region of where the event occurred. The humanities history domain is also addressed. One of the historical skills set out by AusVals is perspectives and interpretations, and this is something students will be able to develop through their investigations by identifying the political and social perspectives of the chosen sporting moment. It also addresses the thinking processes domain by students gaining an awareness of the complex nature of our world through asking critical questions about people and events that go beyond their own experiences. The art element will be introduced once they have finished their investigations by selecting one of their own memorable sporting moments and enacting this through a silent drama performance. Students will also have the opportunity to reflect on their own learning by creating another drama performance with questions such as, what could be some alternative outcomes of this sporting moment? For example, could you have played, behaved, or analysed your sporting moment more effectively? How would the other player, team, or sporting officials have experienced the same sporting moment? An example might be how would they have felt, or how would they have been impacted. Students may also like to act their role play in slow motion or freeze frame. This would enable them to use their thinking skills to consider possible alternative outcomes as well as the perspectives of others. This activity links to AusVals through the arts domain by students experimenting with creative and imaginative ways of role-playing situations and events. By integrating drama into human and social sciences, students are able to think creatively about what they are learning, understand the complexity of cultural and historical perspectives through taking on different roles, and then share this with their peers and teacher. Thank you.
As a coach, I spend countless hours both reviewing video of my athletes' performances as well as studying footage of perfect technique. In this way, we are able to view, review, and perfect our technique in order to be the very best we can be.
In relation to the national curriculum, the arts comprises dance, drama, media arts, music, and visual arts. While it may be argued, as highlighted by Barnes, that all strands of the arts require many of the same competencies in order to engage them all in them meaningfully, specifically involving a capacity for creativity and conveying some level of feeling and expression. However, although this may be considered to be true in a fundamental form, it's also imperative to remember that there are many and varied differences between the disciplines of dance and visual arts, for example. For this reason, it is crucial for those that are required to deliver the curriculum to students to be mindful of including all art forms without exclusion or overpowering of a few. As Hossack states, the skills that are intrinsically linked with proficiency in the arts, such as those of creative thinking, freedom of expression, and persistence, are those that are likely to benefit students in their successes across the board. It is for this reason that a cross-curricular approach to the arts may be highly beneficial to the outcomes of primary-age students. The capacity to incorporate the arts into other facets of education are boundless and exciting, from simple ideas such as that of Reich and Duggar Wadsworth in creating a tuning-in resource from musicals or entertainment media that may still excite and engage children in an age of complacency towards media, especially that of specifically designed education media, to a more complex and involved ways, such as motivating students by creating a series of lessons that engages both mathematics and the arts. Barnes warns against the trap of believing a lesson is to be equally focused on two subject matters, such as that of mathematics and visual arts. However, champions the idea and competency of teachers to use content from both to switch foci and engage students in cohesive and multi-advantageous series of lessons. It is in this way that cross-curricular approach may be the most effective and advantageous to students. In terms of creating an installation art piece that champions the ideals of cross-curricular learning, I chose to focus my attention on the benefits of incorporating technology and media arts. These two learning areas seem to flow easily into each other, inadvertently incorporating several others along the way. Taylor discusses the increasing ability for technology to be used very quickly and easily across factual answers, in order to access factual answers through the use of portable devices and applications such as Google. And for this reason, we must be aware of continuing to focus learning on the outcomes of critical thinking and creativity, and using technology for these purposes, as well as for the use of fact-finding. In a very similar way, Murray and Alceste debate the effectiveness of iPads in creating effective learning. Although their outcomes were unclear, they categorised technological applications in an interesting way, as those that tutor, explore, tool, and communicate, and more widely those that are individual or collaborative. From these categorisations, it seems logical to note that exploring and communicating, both individually and collaboratively, are extremely inherent outcomes to media arts, and in this way, effective artworks may be created. Delving further within the specifics of the installation shown earlier, the activity designed to demonstrate the effectiveness of incorporating the strands of technology and media arts within the bounds of sports focused on students creating a film, live action or animation that demonstrated correct technique within a certain sport. It is critical to note that throughout this task an emphasis is to be placed on the creativity involved, the learning through doing, rather than a mastery of the software itself. Students are able to explore and develop technology skills that will benefit them throughout their educational journey, as well as produce a creative and unique piece of media art. It may also be important to note, when looking at cross-curricular approaches to learning, that media arts conducted in such a way inherently incorporate critical competencies not only in technology and the arts, but also in literacy and problem solving.
As a club doctor, I have seen many athletes broken bones, muscle strains, and other injuries. It is my job to remind the athletes to stretch and warm up their muscles before all training sessions and competitive games to prevent any injuries. I also keep a record of the athletes' heart and breathing rates during games to monitor that they are within the normal and healthy range. For many years, the arts have not been valued and considered as effective and significant domains in the educational process of students. It is with this misleading viewpoint that the arts are often used by educators as a free time or fill-in activity, and is most commonly the curriculum area that suffers when school budgets are tightened. However, contrary to these views and opinions, providing students an opportunity to engage with the arts can provide students with many educational benefits. Gelanu explains that bringing the arts into the educational setting enhances the potential for facilitating many of the desired goals that prove the basis for enhanced learning. These include stimulating the imagination, developing creative potential, and refining auditory, visual, and gross motor skills. Wright further explains that students need opportunities to engage with the arts to expand their describing and interpretation skills. These skills enable sensory, tactile, aesthetic, expressive, and imaginary forms of understanding. It is when learning experiences allow students to use all their senses that it becomes a powerful activator for learning development. As these forms of understanding are just like any other area of learning, they take time to develop, and therefore students need ample amounts of exposure to the arts to encourage such development. Incorporating the arts into other curriculum areas can lead to many educational benefits for students. Gelanu explains that the presence of the arts in educational settings greatly enhances the opportunities for all children to find their avenues of success, which can lead to self-fulfillment. It is through integrating the arts into other curriculum areas that teachers can appeal to students' preferred learning styles and intelligences. One of the strongest justifications for the inclusion of the arts in the educational process is through Howard Gardner's multiple intelligence theory. Armstrong highlights that multiple intelligence theory can have a great contribution to education, as it suggests to teachers they need to expand their repertoire of techniques, tools, and strategies beyond the typical ones used in traditional classrooms today. It is when teachers provide the opportunity for students to engage in cross-curricular experiences, it enables all students' learning preferences to be considered and enables them to reach their full learning and understanding potential. When integrating the arts with other curriculum areas, it can have remarkable advantages to students. Cornett highlights that the arts attract attentions, promote concentration, and encourage students to engage in hard thinking when solving problems. It is when these unique qualities of the arts are incorporated into all curriculum areas that it increases learning and causes students to create meaning and relevance to their learning experiences. A curriculum that incorporates the arts into other curricular areas strengthens students' creative thinking and motivates them to participate in trying new strategies and engage in experiences that will strengthen and further their understanding and knowledge. Integrating visual arts with the science curriculum is not a new concept. Cornett explains that Leonardo da Vinci is a prime example of an individual who succeeded integrating the two curriculum areas many years ago. Da Vinci was one who is known to have written about art and drew about science. Ruth Bernstein expressed that finding a way to promote arts education
alongside science education, must become a high priority for any school, in order to allow for students to be capable of creative participation in a society that is primarily science-dominated like today's. Through an art-integrated program, teachers are able to focus and seek out overlapping ideas, concepts, and skills that are found in separate curriculum disciplines and provide their students with further experiences to develop such skills and notice such similarities. The skills of careful observation, contemplation, attention to detail, record keeping, and the use of advanced technologies are needed in both the visual arts and science. A student's engagement within visual arts and their artistic ability also has a strong link to their performance in science lessons. Ruth Bernstein reiterates that providing students who struggle with visualizing the opportunity to paint and draw can improve their imagination and memory. This as a result can have a significant impact on their visual imaging ability, which is critical for success in scientific subjects. The activity that was created for the purpose of this art installation is one that incorporated both visual arts and science. The activity involves students using everyday household materials to create a sculptural replica of a human lung. The purpose of this activity is to assist students in visualizing and understanding how the human organs work, in particular a human lung. The model lung allows students to recognize the role other body parts such as the diaphragm and windpipe have in providing air to the lungs. Here is the replica. The balloon inside represents the lung, the balloon on the outside represents the diaphragm, and the straw at the top represents the windpipe. The activity strongly links to the installation video, as students can explore what an athlete's internal organs, especially their lungs, may look like and be doing when they are engaging in their related sport compared to when they are not. Thank you.
I'm the head statistician at the company that collects statistics from AFL matches. A statistician collects, analyses, interprets and communicates data that has been organised to serve a useful purpose. Statistics form an evidence base for decision making and help us identify issues and opportunities, develop options and recommendations, monitor progress, evaluate outcomes and understand the world. At the end of an AFL game, I get a file that contains everything that happened during the game, event by event, such as how many goals and behinds were scored, the amount of contested marks and kicks, how many disposals a player has had, and of course how many Dream Team points they have recorded. My job is to splice and dice all this data using statistical tools to give the club something that all of that information that is meaningful and that might give them an advantage in the next game. An example is looking at centre square involvements. Clubs want to know what the best possible combination of 4 players at the centre bounce is.
Arts education, as highlighted by Cladwell, is a universal human right for all learners, and therefore should be incorporated into the curriculum and other subjects, as it can create innovative ways of thinking, understanding and representing knowledge. Participation in the arts has been shown to increase academic outcomes, increase intelligence quotient, and improve literacy and numeracy, and also contributes to cognitive growth and development and motivates student success. The arts can provide students with a way to express their feelings or ideas that they may not be able to do with words. Therefore, it is important for educators to provide the scheduled time for students to release their creativity, feelings and ideas in a safe and supportive environment. By providing students with an opportunity to engage within the arts, it can provide students with many educational benefits, such as enhancing desired goals, stimulating students' imagination and creativity, and refining visual and gross motor skills, as well as enabling sensory, aesthetic and expressive forms of understanding. Therefore, due to the opportunities the arts illustrate, students that need ample amounts of exposure to the creative elements through cross-curricular integration to encourage such development. Our group's theme for our arts installation is sport. Within this installation, students will explore the different people involved in sporting clubs, such as umpires, athletes, statisticians, and physios, and how their roles contribute to the sport. Students will investigate the wide world of sport through each learning areas of mathematics, technology, science, English, human and social sciences, health and physical education, and languages through the form of a creative art element. The aim of my activity is to incorporate mathematics and visual arts together to allow students to develop visualization skills, which provide a foundation for developing number relationships, pattern appreciation, and spatial awareness. It is through integrating the arts into other curriculum areas that teachers can appeal to students' preferred learning styles and intelligences, as well as motivate and encourage students to engage in new strategies and experiences that heightens their creative thinking. The VCAA defines learning mathematics as the opportunity for students to develop numeracy capabilities that they need in their personal, work, and civic life. Mathematical ideas have evolved across all cultures over thousands of levels and are constantly developing. As a result of learning in visual arts and maths, students understand and apply concepts related to mathematical ideas on space and measurement, identifying number patterns, shapes and forms, as well as numeracy strategies which students will use efficiently to make sense of the world. Integrating visual arts with the mathematics curriculum is a concept that was illustrated through the work of M.C. Isher, who successfully integrated the two curriculum areas many years ago through the work of geometric shapes and tessellations. Isher's art has a strong appeal to children as they are intrigued by the transformation of geometric shapes into inanimate figures, whilst at the same time they are beginning to understand the orderliness and relationship between the words of mathematics and arts. Isher was not interested in interlocking series of abstract patterns, but instead he wanted to bring the patterns to life by giving them form with recognizable symbols. Through a visual arts integrated program into mathematics, the skills of observation, contemplation, record keeping, and the uses of advanced technologies are also illustrated, which correlate to my role as a statistician in our arts installation. This concept relates to my learning experience that incorporates mathematics and visual arts by allowing students to design and create their own football player card with an image of the player. This experience would require the students to begin highlighting all the elements of statistics expressed in a football game by an individual, such as how many average kicks, marks, clearances per game, and disposals their player will have each game through the use of graphs and data collection. To further this experience, another activity that combines both mathematics and visual arts includes students designing a team's flag or banner and Guernsey using Isher's theory of tessellations and geometry. Students are to explore different Guernseys and flags used in the AFL, and then using particular geometric shapes, create a symmetrical tessellation that can be applied to their Guernsey and banner, which then can be incorporated onto their football cards.
As a manager, I represent athletes or entire athletic departments at professional levels. I use my business background with my love of sports. My role is to prepare budgets, participate in public outreach, and negotiating contracts for my clients. I am involved in the development of marketing and advertising campaigns. I am happy to promote my clients and encourage them to maintain a positive role in the community. I have represented Kathy Freeman, who is an Olympic champion for the women's 400 metres at the 2000 Summer Olympics. It is too hard for teachers to fit all subjects into school timetables. Therefore, creating a cross-curricular timetable that links subjects such as English and music will allow all subjects to be taught. Students should be excited to understand one subject by developing it through another. Using a cross-curriculum allows teachers and students to enjoy all elements of the core subjects whilst learning the in-depth content they should be learning. An example shown in Barnes' article would be the link between creating poetry, English, and art, where students are able to use visual imagery to enhance their poem. Some students find it difficult to express their experiences and emotions in words, but using the arts-based activity to help express their experiences and emotions is a good place for teachers to start to understand how students feel. The theme our group created was to focus on the sports. Throughout this engaging unit, students will be given many opportunities to develop their sporting knowledge and skills through the cross-curriculum of learning areas and the arts. This installation allows students to delve deeper into the roles of many people within the sporting field, such as managers, athletes, and doctors. This element of the Sport of Arts installation is to allow students to engage in both English and music. This task allows students to link the Auswell's English outcomes through the choice of their music they accompany with the work, allowing students to develop skills across curriculum areas. At Level 6, students need to work together and experiment with different techniques, skills and processes using different forms of media, equipment, materials and technologies to plan and create and present artworks. In order to get the most out of the arts installation, students need to be open and have an understanding of communicating their ideas and understandings, and by also incorporating information from other cultures and times to influence their artwork. An example task of how a teacher could use this installation would be for students to create a passage or a song using relative sporting terms and themes and find music or create music that would suit the main ideas in the song. The passage or song needs to be informative and creative in order to captivate the audience. To ensure its purpose, sustainability, they need to prepare to present it to a variety of audiences, therefore need to ensure appropriate language is used. This task allows students to use their knowledge informed in previous tasks for the sports and their prior knowledge of the sports to generate a creative and engaging piece. Many students find it easier to speak their thoughts than write them. Therefore, combining both English and music for the art of sports allows students who may be stronger at writing or at speaking to use their strengths to develop an appropriate passage to achieve the chosen learning outcome. Creating their own passage or song benefits students in the following ways: is more engaging and interesting for the students, allows students to develop key understandings of sports creatively. They will feel proud of their work and that they were able to do something with it instead of just writing it down, but also able to add music to it. Teamwork and collaboration can receive positive feedback from peers, which makes them feel good. Working in a group allows students to develop their social and interpersonal skills and creates an environment that supports each other. This task allows students to either create their passage or song individually or as a group, both which help develop different skills. Especially in multicultural schools, group work can create an environment where students are able to connect with their peers who may have similar backgrounds and experiences to themselves. This task allows students to be in control of their learning whilst being engaged and interested in the topic. They are able to choose the sports they want to write about, therefore may be more interested in what they will write. Music can be used throughout all elements in English, whether it be from literacy skills like writing or grammar. These literacy skills can be enhanced through the use of music. In order for teachers to create lessons that promote speech development, they need to understand Vygotsky's 4 stages of speech development. These stages are primitive speech, naive psychological, egocentric or private speech, and ingrowth or inner speech stages. Using the speech development stages within the art of sports, depending what year level is being taught, will allow students to develop their speech more appropriately for their age. Self-efficiency has seemed to affect students' abilities, motivation, and behaviours. Teachers need to use these as a starting point to allow students to succeed in the classroom. If some students do not like English but like music, why not combine them both to allow all students to engage and achieve learning outcomes? If teachers believe they are able to link English with music, then they will. They will help provide the strongest reinforcement that generalist teachers can make across cross-curricular links between English and music. Teachers need to be open towards students' energy of life through music. The arts and music specifically can help create positive learning environments where students can achieve intellectually, socially and emotionally. Multicultural Australia and the device learning environments need to value creativity and enhance literacy instruction through music. Linking English and music will allow students to extend their vocabulary and comprehension skills, but also engage and enjoy their learning environment. They are able to create poems, songs, raps, and either create or use such things as musical rhyme and beats to enhance their writing skills. Using music can also enhance the multicultural learning environment where students are able to use instruments from their culture to create a more engaging and encouraging, respectful and diverse learning environment where all cultures, religions and countries are embraced. Students being able to have the choice to use their English lessons as a way to enjoy music. Linking English and music into the art of the sports installation allows all students to achieve learning outcomes that are set. This installation allows the cross-curricular of all learning areas with the arts to ensure for the success of each student in the learning environment and for all students to have a go and be engaged in all areas of learning.
I'm an athlete. In fact, I'm a dancer. Dancers like myself are often referred to as athletes of the arts. Like all other athletes, I have undergone years of hard physical training in pursuit of excellence. It is through dance that I use my energy and strength to tell stories, convey ideas, emotion, and create powerful experiences. An average day in my life consists of early mornings, healthy eating, physical and professional dance training, rehearsals, makeup and costume changes, auditions, criticism, and often rejection. Commitment, persistence, ambition, physical, musical, expressive, and academic attributes are qualities required by all dancers. The competitive reality of dancing requires confident individuals equipped with these attributes necessary to sustain the standards associated with the profession. Excellence and perfection are a must.
Russell Bowie 2011 states the arts are an integral and important component of our everyday lives. As such, they need to be a vital part of our children's education. However, over the past 200 years, this has rarely been the case in many Australian primary schools. Through the examination of the current creative arts program within primary education today, evident through our completed situational analysis, concern regarding generalist teachers' ability to deliver a quality visual arts program within the mainstream classroom was identified. High-quality arts education requires highly skilled professional art teachers as well as generalist teachers. According to LARD 2012, generalist teachers can successfully teach arts by applying generic teaching practices and transferring pedagogical knowledge from other areas of the curriculum. Russell Bowie 2011 recommends all children have a high-quality arts education in every phase of learning. Cross-curriculum integration is recommended as a teaching strategy used to overcome the crowded curriculum and allows the creative arts to be incorporated through all areas of learning. By integrating the creative arts across the curriculum, it enables a program to be delivered that covers all learning areas, meeting the academic, personal and social needs of all students in a way that incorporates the overarching competencies and values. Experiences in the arts should be made around students' prior experiences and interests, therefore catering for the mixed abilities present within the classroom. The general consensus across all grade levels is that the arts are a domain thoroughly enjoyed by all students. Therefore, integration of the arts across the curriculum would be a big confidence boost for a lot of students that struggle in other areas. Encouraging teachers to facilitate creative arts experiences across the curriculum would prove beneficial not only to overcome time constraints and the overcrowded curriculum, but for learning outcomes and student engagement. Working towards a curriculum that is integrated involves the means of establishing links across curriculum disciplines. Hayes 2010 highlights
that the subject disciplines may be related through a central theme, issue, problem, process, topic, or experience. It is through these connections that integration is possible. A cross-curriculum approach offers students a creative way to develop knowledge, skills, and understanding, learning through stimulating, interconnected topics which promote high levels of motivation. Potential links between health and physical education curriculum and other Australian curriculum domains can be made to provide rich opportunities for integrated learning. Dance is a key movement medium in health and physical education and is also identified in the arts learning area as one of the 5 art forms. While dance is traditionally taught within the arts, the emphasis and the links associated with dance and in health and physical education is on the development of movement skills, concepts and patterns related to dance and the value of dance for lifelong physical activity. Through the integration and fusion of these common ideas and concepts within dance and health and physical education curriculum, it has the opportunity to broaden students' experiences, thus making appropriate connections between these two disciplines assist in making education more relevant and meaningful for students. Hayes 2010 argues that if educators emphasise on the separation of each curriculum domain, artificial barriers may be established as a consequence. As a result, students may fail to make essential connections between common components to other disciplines. However, teaching a curriculum as an integrated whole and the learning approach is likely to be rounded and holistic, drawing the attention of students to the links that prominently exist between components of subject areas, in particular dance and health and physical education. An integrated curriculum approach is popularly associated with Howard Gardner and his theory of multiple intelligences. In reference to cross-curriculum, subject barriers are dissolved through the integration of relevant parts of dance and health and physical education into a composite whole. It is through this undertaking that knowledge and skills acquired, learnt and applied in dance are used to reinforce and expand learning in relation to health and physical education. For example, an understanding of one's own movement patterns and abilities will assist in fostering self-expression, develop kinesthetic and motor skills, and increase self-confidence. The continuing challenge of education lies in developing, implementing, and sustaining a curriculum that effectively engages students with the full range of benefits that are driven from engaging within a curriculum integrated with the arts. Hayes 2010 highlights that cross-curriculum teaching is a fundamental approach taken that ultimately has the ability to strengthen all domains of the curriculum.